Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you're all doing so super well today. I'm coming on to do another YouTube teaching. So if you're tuning into me for the very first time and you don't know who I am, my name is Stef. I'm a psychic business empowerment coach. I work with spiritual entrepreneurs and spiritual people to teach them how to manifest anything that they want in their personal lives and in their businesses. I do this through teaching my clients how to have such a high level of awareness around what their limiting beliefs are, their fears, their repressed emotional energy, and what's happening in their surroundings to really help them to uncover what's they're holding on within themselves that is creating misalignment with the things that they're and clearing that so that they raise their vibration and frequency and bring themselves into alignment with what they desire, and they just get it with so much more ease and grace. So that is how I support people. Every Friday I do a live video teaching here on YouTube at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, unless daylight savings changes the time for some reason, or I'm somewhere in the world and I have to change the time. But today I wanted to come on and talk to you today about sustaining the illusion of the matrix only causes more pain. So I'm just going to free channel and just see what comes through. Normally I make a few notes, but we're just going to see what comes through. So I've been very passionate this past week about really helping open their eyes to suffering and to understand they don't need to suffer and experience pain more than they need to. Today, somewhere on Facebook, either in my free Facebook group or on my business page or my personal page, I'm not exactly sure where, I'm going to do a teaching on why people that are healers or people on the healing journey experience more suffering than they need to. Something like that is the title. So if you follow me on Facebook, be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, it'll be uploaded to YouTube at some point. But this is the thing, is that The Matrix, if you've ever seen that movie, is this movie in which basically this man realizes that what he thought was a real world isn't actually the real world, and he's actually been asleep and just kind of been buying into kind of like virtual reality, thinking that was the true reality when it wasn't. And so as he awakens to this truth and recognizes that everything that he's known and believed to be true wasn't actually true, and he awakens to that, and then he starts going on this kind of journey of really discovering who he really is and his true power, and then he does these amazing things, right? That is what the Matrix is, and we all exist in a kind of matrix. We all exist in a kind of virtual reality in which we think the things that we're experiencing in our lives, such as financial setbacks, health problems, missing out on opportunities, whatever it is that shows up in our lives that creates this big, powerful, negative emotional impact within ourselves. A lot of times we feel that these things that we're experiencing are reality, that they're so true, and they're not true necessarily. But what's creating these things in showing up in our lives is what we hold within ourselves. It's all of our limiting beliefs and fears and all of our past emotional stuff that we're holding within that then affects the vibrational frequency at which we're vibrating as individuals. And then this goes out into the universe, and we send a kind of signal to the universe, hey, this is what I believe, feel, and think. This is what I'm vibrating at. I feel that life is unfair. I feel like I can never catch good breaks. I feel like other people get opportunities and I always miss out on them. I feel that I'm not lucky in love. I feel that I'm doomed to get a disease because everyone else in my family has the disease, and so on and so forth. And so whatever we're thinking, feeling, and believing, we're putting that signal out to the universe, and the universe then responds to that. The universe then brings us all of those things that we think, feel, and believe. So if you are afraid of getting an illness or something because it runs in your family, then guess what? You're more than likely going to manifest it and experience it a lot of times, because you are putting that out to the universe, and that's what you're getting more of. And so the matrix here in this case is that you deeply, deeply believe some things so, so strongly, and you believe that to be true, and you believe that that is just the way life is going to be, that is just your destiny, and you can't do anything about it, and all of these different things. And so you're believing that so strongly into that illusion that you've been taught by other people, by society, by movies, because there's so much stuff going on in the world right now to put negativity in the minds of people, right? There's, if you watch the news, I don't really watch the news. The only way I get informed of what's happening in the world is I watch Trevor Noah, and that's only because he's funny. But I don't really watch the news because a lot of times the news is just filled with a dialogue that is just so negative. And what you don't understand is that these people that are trying to put all this fear in your head, like I'm moving to Mexico soon, and someone on Facebook was like, oh, you better watch out for those caravans going through Mexico and be safe. And where my mom was like, oh my God, she was like, there are cartels and things in Mexico. All of these different things, right? These people are so programmed with these kinds of things, and they're trying to pass on that fear to me, but I see through that. I see through the illusion, and I'm like, I'm not going to be affected by that. Like, I'm high vibrational. I'm not going to manifest those situations. I'm always going to be in the right place at the right time with the right people, because I've really evolved to that point where I know I create my reality, and I know I can create the best experience ever instead of the scariest, most overwhelming experience. So I'm very confident of that. But these people who have been programmed by the media, by what other people are saying, all that fear-based stuff, because these people believe that that's so inherently true, they're so deep in that illusion that that's what they feel, think, and believe. And so then they send that energy out to the universe, and they just get more of that right back to them. And then it just confirms whatever they're thinking, feeling, believing, but that's not the actual truth, right? So an example of that is, for example, I live in Peru. Right now, we have a lot of Venezuelans coming in because they're fleeing their country because of the situation that's happening in their country. And so it's like caravans of people coming here. I don't notice them. I mean, I hear them in the streets and I see a lot of them coming in, but it doesn't feel like, oh my God, I'm being overwhelmed or this is too much or whatever. I don't have that negative experience of that situation. Whereas the people who are so deep in the negativity in the matrix, when they encounter these people or whatever, they're having a negative experience of the same kind of thing. And so when you are so deep in the illusion, when you're so deep in the matrix, whatever is happening in your life is going to affect you so strongly, and is only going to continue to make you feel like there's lack, like there's only suffering, like there's only hardship, there's only sacrifice, there's only struggle. And you're going to perpetuate that more and more and more into your own life. And not just your own life, but if you have children or if you have people that look up to you, you're going to perpetuate that to them as well. And it's just this never-ending cycle. And so the way to break out of the matrix, the way to start seeing through the illusion and to really wake up and stop buying into all of these different things is to do personal development on yourself, to really develop yourself spiritually, to really dig into all of those past emotional, maybe traumatic experiences that you've had, and releasing all of that, those limiting beliefs and those fears, and really processing them and clearing them so that you no longer continue to create from this space of just being so negative and so afraid and so hurt and all of this other stuff. Because if you hold that within yourself, you're just going to keep getting more of that. And then as you're doing that, as you're experiencing that kind of version of reality that's full with the pain and the struggle and the suffering, and people are witnessing you do that, they're going to look at you as an example, and they're just going to have those same kinds of beliefs. Hold on a second. I can't believe people call me when I'm doing my teaching. Swear that was my dad. My dad always loves calling me when I'm doing a teaching in the morning. Why? But anyway, so what happens is people are observing you in experiencing all of this hardship and stuff, and so you're just then validating what they believe, what they've been programmed with, and they're you're just going back and forth off of each other, like bouncing off of each other, the same kind of negativity. And all that does is just continue to expand and expand and expand and perpetuate more and more and more, because it's a ripple effect kind of thing. And if we all want to create a better world in which there's equality, there's love, there's respect, there's acceptance of other people, there's all these good things, we need to choose to break free from the illusions for ourselves, so that by breaking free from those constraints that we have been programmed with or passed down to us, we then show up in the world differently. We live our lives differently. We give people a different example and help them see that life is only that hard or that stressful or that much in lack when you create from that space, but it doesn't have to be. Does that make sense? And so this is really, as spiritual beings at this time on this spiritual journey, this experience, what we're really here to do is to really awaken for ourselves and to really start seeing through the matrix and start seeing that life doesn't have to be full of that pain and that suffering and the limitations and all that stuff, that we can transcend that and we can create an all new reality for ourselves. And in doing so, we get to show people the possibilities that they have for themselves, but it starts with us. We have to be the individual change that we want to see in the world. We can't just expect other people to like do the work for us or whatever. And a great example of this is yesterday or something, I was on Facebook and I saw a account or some kind of article about how Peru has passed some kind of law in which they're banning reusable plastic bags of a certain size or whatever, like straws and a bunch of other things. They're banning a lot of things made from plastic because it's not good for the environment. And so they're in the process of switching out these things in the process of 3 years, right? So a friend of mine commented on that and was, sharing their perspective and sharing how legislators need to do more something to create that change so it's more effective and more powerful. I can't remember exactly this person's words, right? But when you're so focused on people doing or not doing what you think they're supposed to be doing, it doesn't actually create the shift in the world you want to see. Because what needs to happen here to make the most transformative and powerful change is focusing on your own personal development and spiritual development. And as you focus on that and you raise your vibration, you raise your consciousness, you help other people raise their vibration and their consciousness. And when all of us collectively we're at a higher level of vibrational frequency and consciousness, we then have access to the information, the technology that we need to be able to create a more sustainable and environmental friendly products that we can use so that it's better for the planet and the animals and all these other things. But it starts with us raising our own frequency. And so we have to see through the illusion that the issue here really isn't the trash going out in the world necessarily. That trash going out in the world that's polluting the planet and so on is just simply a physical manifestation of all of the crap that we hold within ourselves, all of the pain, the suffering, the hardships, the traumas, all of that stuff. It's just a physical reflection of what we hold within ourselves. And if we want to stop seeing that reflection given back to us, we need to go within and clean ourselves up of these things to break free from the matrix and to really be able to then, as we become clean and pure within ourselves, free from distortion, then we will have a higher level of consciousness and frequency to access the information and things that we need to make this world cleaner again and better for everyone. And then we get to really move forward. But it starts with us. We have to do our own personal development, because so long as we hold ourselves at a low vibrational state with limiting beliefs and fears and hate and judgment and all these negative or low vibrational things, as we hold ourselves to that, then the people in legislation or governments and stuff, they're going to be at that same level. They're going to stay there. And so if they're at that lower level, they're not going to do their part to really make the big massive shifts in the world that are going to drastically take us in another direction, in the direction that we truly want to go in. And so it really starts with us being responsible for what we hold within ourselves, cleaning ourselves up, letting go of these things. And in doing so, we start seeing through the illusion. We start seeing through the illusion of the pain and suffering that we've experienced, of what's happening in the world. We no longer continue to feel more indignation and things, because that's what happens a lot of times with media. Especially people will see, like recently on Facebook, I saw this beautiful whale, pregnant whale, that apparently died because it had too much plastic in it, right? And that's a tragedy that a beautiful creature could die like that because of people being irresponsible and not caring. But at the same time, when people see those kinds of things, they feel rage about it. They feel angry and frustrated, and they just want to demand change. When they're feeling all of these negative feelings, they're buying into the illusion. Anytime something really upsets you or gets to you or something, you're buying into the illusion. You're in the matrix because you're allowing what's happening to really affect you, instead of seeing through that and really seeing how that's telling you something about yourself and what you need to adjust within yourself to keep becoming that powerful being that you are and to be the change that you wish to see in the world. So this is how you start seeing through the matrix. Is you really have to recognize that all of these things that you're observing that you deem as negative, they're just part of the virtual reality that you're existing in. And this virtual reality is just simply here to really help you to recognize where you need to shift internally, so that as you shift internally, you reclaim your power, you start really recognizing you're a powerful creator, you start shifting your energy, and as you shift your energy, you then see that you have the power to create what you want in this virtual reality, that the virtual reality or life isn't just happening to you and all of these people or situations are just entering your life by chance or whatever it is, that you get to step into that and see, okay, when I shift internally, then the external shifts, then my reality starts changing for the better. And that's really what it's about. That's how we start seeing through the matrix, and we start becoming super, super empowered and creating whatever we want in our lives. So I hope that this has helped you. Let me know what your thoughts were in the comments below. Definitely be sure to like this video if it resonated with you. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, make sure that you have subscribed to my channel. And if you feel like anyone would benefit from this video teaching, definitely be sure to share this with them. If you want to follow me on Facebook, the link's in the description. The links to my Facebook things, my Facebook business page, my free Facebook group are in the description below. So make sure to go and click on that. And I'm going to go and read a comment that I had here from Edgar. You really helped me to improve my English. I am trying to understand all that you speak, and I understand almost all. That's awesome, Edgar. I'm not sure if you'll come back and watch this, but I'm so glad that my videos help you practice English. That seems to be a thing. People watch my channel just to practice their English. It's really interesting. Not this channel so much, but in my other travel channel that I have, people love watching my videos in English. So I'm so glad I can help you in some way. So yeah, so that's basically it. Excuse the loud motorcycle. Thank you so much for your time. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see you in the next video. And if you want to really start learning how to see beyond the matrix and to really step into your power and becoming a great creator of your reality, definitely reach out to me and see how we can work together. I always do different kinds of programs and things to really help people to be able to do this for themselves and to support them as well. So I would love to support you too if it resonates. All right, awesome. Take care, everyone. Bye.